Good evening, everybody. This is your boy D Mack, man. Let's talk. Thank you for meeting me here this evening for the 8 o'clock the 8 o'clock oddcast. This is just a follow up of what I had promised to do on Saturday, but I was still trying to get my computer, laptop, and all of that stuff to work together. And so here's the makeup, and I'm going to go over what I was going to go over then, and also I'm going to add some concepts and thoughts that I've had since then. And so let's go ahead and get started. Shout out to my boy Big J. Shout out to my boy Talkie T. Shout out to Humble Beginnings down there in Concord. Um, Everybody else, man, just everybody out here doing their thing. Appreciate the likes. I appreciate the shares. I just passed the 250 videos placed up, so I'm definitely filling up my page with content, and I'm trying to make it more quality content for you. So, yeah, just stay along with me, man. I'm gonna try to do some great things with this. Um, Things I wanted to talk about tonight. First odd thing that came up when I was just searching through news here and there across the world. This was something that was very concerning, more than it was odd. There was a man in Indonesia. They didn't put his name for safety reasons, I'm assuming. He had the coronavirus and he dressed in his wife's clothing, took his wife's identification and all of her documentation, her vaccine card, which said that she was vaccinated and did not have COVID, and he flew from Jakarta to another place. Now, the reason he got discovered was because the flight attendant noticed that he went in the bathroom and changed out of the niqab thing that they wear that covers the face and all of that into his regular clothes. So went in a woman, came out a man in man's clothing, and so uh, they caught him when the flight came in, but he was positive for coronavirus. So he's affected all of these people on this flight with coronavirus. And these are the types of things that we're dealing with when it comes to this pandemic. And they like to speculate and say, well, it's these people are not getting the vaccine and these people are not getting, no, it's people that's doing things like this. People who are intentionally infecting other people for their own selfish wants and selfish desires. That's the issue. That's the problem. And it's a mentality thing, it's a behavior thing. Within our country, we all know the United States has been known for its being a multicultural melting pot. So there's a lot of freedom of expression in the United States that there isn't in other countries. And that's why a lot of people lean more towards coming here. And so, bearing this in mind, when you have that type of mentality and that type of projected freedom in a country, it's going to look very enticing to people who don't want to follow by the rules. But now we're under a pandemic, and this comes down to actually infecting people, and they still want to do what they want to do. This is the issue that the CDC is having. This is the issue that these governors are having, trying to get people to understand. Now, if you don't want to get vaccinated, okay, your business, you have the right to refuse. But at the same time, when you know that you have coronavirus, or maybe he didn't know that he had coronavirus, because if he refused the vaccine, I'm pretty sure he refused a test. And so he probably didn't know that he had coronavirus, but for the simple fact that he would risk other people's health knowing that he could infect somebody, because if you're going to go through all of the trouble of dressing up like your wife and having her vaccination card, you had to know something. So I take that back. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but no. Taking into consideration that point right there, you went through way too much trouble to not know if you had coronavirus or not. So yeah, this dude right here and this type of mentality of wanting to fulfill your own selfish needs and wants has now put a whole lot of people at risk going to all different types of places, because who knows if that was a connecting flight going to other parts of the world, and now these people have to stay in quarantine because of this man's selfishness. That's some very odd behavior for one person. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with as far as this government, the pandemic, and a lot of different issues. But I'm not going to force my opinions on anybody, nor am I going to try to make anybody feel bad if they don't believe what I believe. That's just not in me to do so. In the same token, I'm going to respect other people's belief, and I'm not going to do anything to offend them in what they believe. I would rather separate myself from those people and just keep my distance from those type of people so that I won't offend them. And that's how you live peaceably among those that you don't agree with. But people have this tendency to try to force you to believe what they believe, or to try to make you feel like you're a lesser person because you don't believe what they believe. And that's very wrong. That goes against the heart of every religion that's out here. Because if the heart of every religion is love and unity and peace, which I can't say that all religions have that premise or that core value, but a majority of the ones that are in the United States and that the United States was founded on have that core belief. And so if you're going to live within this system and you're going to go against that core belief, then you're going to understand that there's going to be some pushback. And so when this man takes it upon himself to expose all of these people to something that's been killing people on the left and right, and they've done an awesome job of making the fear factor go through the roof concerning this. Um, what can you really say other than you can't blame the governments for wanting to take control and ha- put people on lockdown because of these people who are just going to do what they want to do. You're not selling out to the man. You're looking out for the other people around you. That's what you're doing. Say if you don't want to vaccinate, don't. That's on you. If you don't want to wear, don't wear a mask. That's on you. But the people that do it have respect for their right to do so. Because the same way that you're trying to exercise your right to not do something, they're exercising their right to do something. So you're being a total contradiction if you try to attack anybody for not going for what you're going for. And so, dealing with people in this country and the selfish environment that has been cultivated in the United States. Everything has become about self in the United States. So, what more could you really expect other than a selfish nature? But that guy wasn't even from the United States, he was from Indonesia. And we look at other cultures and we have these stereotypes that we carry about them, but people are going to be people no matter where they're from. You have selfish people in other cultures just like you have it in ours. So, yeah, man, everybody just protect yourselves. That's all I can really say in that matter. That's something crazy. That's odd to go through that much trouble. What is that important for you to jeopardize all of those people just to travel from this place to that place? What is that important? And if it was that important, why couldn't you find another means of transportation to get there that would conceal you or confine you away from a large number of people, as opposed to going through an airport and going on an airplane and all of that? That's very crazy. That's very selfish. That's very odd. It's odd to me. Something else that's odd to me is Speaking about the virus and vaccines and stuff like that, I've been noticing that people have been losing their jobs. They've been losing their social media pages and stuff like that if they speak against certain vaccines. But you have people in political offices who have fiercely pushed this entire rhetoric from the beginning of the pandemic, which caused over hundreds of thousands of sicknesses and deaths that probably could have been prevented had we not had this interference and this pushback from these people from the beginning. And they're not being held accountable for that. So why is it that the people on the lower, smaller levels are losing their jobs and being held accountable for saying anything pertaining to disparagement towards the vaccines? But the people who actually push the whole entire narrative, talking about the media and all, who all push this narrative for months and months, telling people that it was a hoax and telling people that it wasn't real and to continue to do this and do that, not giving people the choice to say, I want to do this or not. They haven't been brought to any type of accountability whatsoever. They're still sitting in office and they're the ones who are making decisions concerning what they did to the people. So they're policing themselves. They're investigating themselves. That's not fair, man. That's sickening to me because it's not going to bring about any change. All they're going to do is go in and see how how they failed in covering up what they were doing. That's exactly what is being done. Because like I said, anybody on this level here, on our level, when we speak about the vaccines and we speak our mind on it, we get silenced. But you have these senators, and they're still doing it to this day. Right now, you have Margaret Taylor Greene, you have all of these different guys, Lindsey Graham, you still have the media, Tucker Carlson, all of these people are still pushing this false narrative intentionally. And what is their excuse? What is the good enough excuse for them to give to get them off the hook of accountability for fueling this and leading these people astray? None whatsoever. So if we're only going to condemn the people and not condemn the head, then we're going to continue to have the same problem over and over. Until you deal with the head of a thing, you're going to continue to have the same problem. You have to cut the head off of the snake. That's what has to be done. And so until we start to hold these people in the top spot accountable, the ones who hold the influence over the ones who are actually going out doing the things, until we hold them accountable, then we just playing. So let's stop playing. Playtime is over. We have an opportunity now to set things on a right path or on a wrong path in this country, because this whole pandemic has exposed a lot of holes in the theory of the United States. The theory of the United States and the reality of the United States are two absolutely different things. We've pushed this narrative of our country across the world of it being so great and so welcoming and so fair, that now you have a problem of people wanting to come across the border to get to this place that you promoted it to be. And now you don't want them here. But that goes against everything that you promoted America to be to the rest of the world. So how can you have that contradicting narrative going? This is what we're dealing with in the United States of America right now. And um, I deal in words. I like to understand what people are truly saying when they say it. That's very important to me. And so I'm not going to just let people say something real slick and because it sounded good, just let it slide by. No, you can't do that. You're doing yourself and everybody else around you a great disservice when you allow that to happen. Questioning something does not mean that you're against it. Questioning something means that you want a clear understanding of what the message that is being conveyed to you because maybe you heard it wrong. But anytime you question something or you show opposition against the point that somebody's making, they take it personal. And when they take it personal, now the focus has gone off what you're really trying to get to, which is an answer. And now you're just trying to get somebody to see your point. And so that whole you just wasted however many minutes in that conversation trying to get somebody to see your point as opposed to coming to a conclusion and an answer. So with that type of environment being painted on a lot of these different platforms, I it's hard not to engage. But there's a way to engage with somebody without offending them and without trying to make them feel lesser to try to get your point across. I can definitely bring my point across and I can keep it on the topic as to not offend somebody. That's my whole point, as to not offend nobody. Because if I talk about myself or I talk about hypotheticals, nobody really has any room to say that I offended them. The only thing that they can be offended by is my view. And that's where I want to keep things on my view and on my topic. But whenever people try to go off into a whole another direction, that means they're searching for a concept that they can relate to and make a point so that they can have some sense of being right in the conversation. And when I recognize these things, like I said, that's when I try to disengage. But that's how conversations are, and you can't get angry at people and you can't hold grudges against people. You just grow and you learn from the conversations and the interactions that you have with these people. This is all about growth. This is all about effective communication. And so we as people are losing our sense of effective communication, so these type of interactions are what we need. This is what keeps us sharp as people. And this is why they always promote standing up in front of crowds and facing your fears of being in front of people, because you're going to have to, at some point, be able to fend for yourself in this society. And that comes with being able to speak your point using tact and being able to convey your point without disrespecting or being accusatory to someone. All of these are skills. These are skills that you can develop and build, and these things will help you in life, whether you want to pursue business or whether you want to pursue any other types of industries. Relationship is going to be a key factor, and these things are going to help you build those relationships. And so, I don't know, man. I feel like people aren't being held accountable enough for their role in what's going on in this country, especially the people who have criminal cases sitting on them right now, and they're still sitting up in the Senate making laws and making bills. Now, people out here, you know what happened when we have charges sitting on us. We're sitting in jail if we can't, and they're gonna make that bond high enough to where we can't afford to get out. And if we do get out, we're gonna be on some kind of house arrest or something like that. And our court date is coming real quick. We're not gonna get a long time outside to just chill. Not like these politicians are getting. These guys have very, very serious allegations on them, and they are still passing laws. They're still arguing morality in the House. And this is acceptable in the United States. This is what we find acceptable in our government, allowing people who have serious character flaws. And these are not just accusations that are baseless. No, they're under investigation because there's some validity to what's been said against them, and the government feel like they need to look into it, and they have some evidence to corroborate everything that's been said. And these people are still sitting here making laws and governing us when they have serious character flaws. Now, I'm not saying people are supposed to be perfect. Not at all is that what I'm saying. Everybody has their issues. But you are not going to sit up here and be in charge of morality and decency and trying to speak on that when you yourself cannot exercise that yourself. You have no right, no authority to even speak on that or to even try to make a point concerning that. So a lot of these people need a real integrity check. They need a real self-examination in politics. Because if they really had the integrity that they keep speaking about, then they would have stepped down from their position and let somebody else who was more capable and more deserving of that position take over. But we see that that's not their main goal, and so they'll continue to stay there and be hypocrites, and they'll continue to fuel these things, and they'll continue to influence the masses with certain narratives to gain a certain outcome, and they're not going to be held accountable for what the people who are fanatics who don't understand reality from the make-believe go out and do. You look at a lot of these mass shootings that we've had, and the people say in their statement that it was fueled by a lot of the rhetoric that they heard from this person or from that person, because they don't have the mental capacity to understand what is real and what is fantasy. In their mind, they're doing a great service to their country to go and open fire in a crowd of innocent people who was just out for the day. And this is acceptable to the United States? Or are we just going to minimize this as they often do and make it about gun control and people registering guns? No, it's not about that. The guns are not doing it, because whether you have gun control or not, you're only going to control the guns of the people who are under the law with their guns. You're not controlling none of the criminals' guns. So whose guns are you really trying to control? So let's not make it about gun control, and let's keep it on what it's about. It's about the behavior of the humans. That's what it's about. It has absolutely nothing to do with the gun. It's all about us humans who keep grabbing these guns and keep making these guns the end all be all to our confrontations, because we don't have conflict resolution skills, and we don't want to take the time and effort to learn. We don't want to make it about that, because the easiest thing to do is say, well, it's the gun. We're gonna get control on the guns. Come on, man. We're tired of playing this game. We played this game for too many decades, and it's not tricking anybody. The only people that's tricking is the people who want to be lied to. But the people who are seeking truth and the people who are looking for honesty and looking for a solution are tired of this same old game that y'all keep playing. It's not fooling anybody anymore. It's old, and y'all guys are slowly pushing your own way out by exposing how shallow and dry and misguided you are. You are so out of touch with where the world is right now. We see through this veil, and we understand it for what it is. We're not guessing. We're not conspiracy theorists anymore. No, we've grown to a different level of understanding. And so we're going to continue to speak our minds. We're going to continue to speak against what is wrong, and it, no matter what it comes at, no matter what sacrifice it comes at. People say, "Oh, well, if you say this, you're not going to win a certain demographic." Okay, well, that's the risk that I'm willing to take, because my standing on what I believe comes far quicker than trying to appease the masses. That's what I'm speaking against. That's the system that I'm against. The one who will sell their soul to appease the masses. That's not me. That'll never be me or my show. I'm here for the people who are like minded with me and who want to build and grow with me and help me to learn as well as learn from me. I'm here for those people, the iron that sharpens the iron. I'm not here for itching ears because my message is not for everybody. Not everybody can stomach what I have to say. So it is what it is, man. Everybody, I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for giving me an opportunity to impart something in your life. And I appreciate y'all for imparting the things in my life that y'all impart in my life. Salute to all of my homies out there in the YouTube world who are keeping yourself authentic and not allowing yourself to be compromised for views and for subs. That's a real important thing when it comes down to it, man, because this is becoming just like the music industry, this YouTube industry. Watch, pretty soon we have a form of a 360 deal already going with these with how the subscribers and how the pay is for the subscriptions and the likes and all of that stuff. So you're already dealing with the 360 deal concept in this YouTube game. And the bigger it gets and the more open that it gets, you're going to find yourself in some more compromising positions, especially the higher up and the more influence that you're given on this outlet or on this platform. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep my eyes open, and if I have to stay one of those C-list or D-list YouTubers just to maintain my sense of realness, then so be it. But I'm not going to compromise my integrity nor my beliefs in order for some subs. This is your boy D Mac, man. Much love to everybody. And you know what I say: sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.